In this presentation, I would like to consider the question, massive open online courses. Are they reflecting a revolution in higher education? And at the end of this presentation, I want to consider a bit if this isn't something that you should maybe be thinking of introducing in your own teaching. Now, the so-called MOOCs, massive open online courses, they got their start really in 2011, and in the history of these MOOCs, I have to introduce Sebastian Thrun, Stanford University. It was in that year that he put a course on the internet, making it absolutely free. Students anywhere in the world could just sign in and take the course. In his own words, he dreamed that he would get 10,000 students taking the course. What he got, in fact, was 160,000. This was really the motivation for the construction of sites offering students MOOCs. Coursera got its start in 2011 with the financial backing of Microsoft. We have Udacity in the same year with financial help from Google. And then edX came online in 2012. This was a joint venture of Harvard University and MIT. And what you're seeing here then is very much the big three of the MOOCs, although there are a number of smaller sites out there now as well. Upon my retirement in 2012, I started taking some of these MOOCs. I was taking mine primarily from Coursera, and I found them a fascinating way to gain new information, to learn new things. And in the course of taking these courses, I discovered that there is sort of a basic construction of these MOOCs, three characteristics. These are short video lectures, they all have lots of quizzes, and they all have active discussion forums. So I just want to discuss these three in a little bit more detail, starting here with the short video lectures. Here you see a young fellow doing a video lecture. You'll notice he has pen in hand. You're encouraged when you're taking these video lectures to treat them as normal classroom lectures. So if you usually are taking notes, then you should by all means do so when you're doing the video lectures. The beauty of the video lectures, if there's any points that you've missed, you can just wheel it back and take a look at it again. If you're to fall asleep during the lecture, you can just watch it again the next morning. Now that's something that you don't have the luxury of when you're talking about a classical classroom lecture. The real trick here with these video lectures is that they are short, usually about 15 minutes. And this is in recognition of the fact that humans' attention span is not really all that great. The usual 45 minutes to 1 hour of a classroom lecture is far beyond our attention span. And there's no doubt somewhere during that time period, your thoughts are going to be drifting off. So keeping the video short keeps people's attention on the information at hand. Next item, lots of quizzes. This is in recognition of the fact that the best strategy for learning new material, getting it consolidated from short-term memory to long-term memory, is via recall. And you don't have to take my word for it. Here is a science article that first introduced this idea, the critical importance of retrieval for learning. What they did in this study is they compared various study strategies such as rereading the material, highlighting the material, making summary notes of the material, and giving yourself little quizzes. And it turned out that the recall in a quiz was by far the strongest way to get memory consolidation going. Then we come here to the active discussion forums. In these, the students can put on the internet in these discussion forums any problems they are having with the material, and other students can jump in and give a hand if they have a solution to the particular problem. And what it is really then is students teaching students. And students really enjoy this kind of control on their educational experience. Now, the question is here, is this a revolution in higher education? To look at this question, I want to introduce Carl Wieman. Carl Wieman won the Nobel Prize in Physics in 2001. This was for the production of the first true Bose-Einstein condensate. Now, I have no idea what that is, but having won the Nobel Prize, Carl Wieman got interested in what is the best way to give undergraduate, that's bachelor level education at universities. And he started testing different ways, and being a scientist, he quantified everything he did and made some very influential publications as he went along. Now, one of the publications of Carl Wieman that I want to look at right now, this was published in Science in 2011, Improved Learning in a Large Enrollment Physics Class. What he does in this article is he gives an outline of how he thinks that a university undergraduate science course should be set up. And in this, he distinguishes between online experience and classroom experience. For online experience, he has things like video lectures, lots of test material, and discussion forums. So this is exactly what we have just been discussing for the MOOCs. He makes the point here that this is active learning. The students are really setting the pace here as they go through the various aspects. For the classroom experience, Carl Wieman introduced various innovative features such as discussion groups, projects, and one particular thing he liked was having audience response systems. Audience response systems, this is where students have the clickers, they can answer multiple choice questions. The results of these are then given on the PowerPoint, and this in fact leads to very interesting discussions with the students. This has proved to be a very effective teaching tool. And again, you don't have to take my word for it here. This has been published in Science, again with Carl Wieman as one of the co-authors. And in this article, he really shows that the discussions that are encouraged through audience response systems are really making a significant contribution to the educational experience. So what we're talking about here really with this structure is what's now being called the flipped classroom, where what used to be given in the classroom is given online, and the classroom time is used for other aspects of teaching. Now, the question was, is this a revolution? Well, Science magazine certainly thinks so. And what you're seeing here is a sort of an editorial article in Science from 2013, Grand Challenge, Undergraduate Teaching, Transformation is possible if a university really cares. The university in question is University of British Columbia. What this university did is they brought Carl Wieman in, and they gave him the job of transforming the undergraduate, the bachelor level science teaching at this university with this type, or with this model. And this article here really is sort of a report card on how well they've done. And if you go in there and read the article, what you'll see there is they really get an A+ here. So why video lectures and flipped classroom? I think the most important reason is that it improves the educational experience of the students, and that's really one of the primary functions of the university at the undergraduate level, is to give good education to the students. While the production of all this online material, it takes considerable time, it can be reused, And in fact, this would then lead to, in fact, a reduction in teaching load ultimately. And with this reduced load, it allows the teachers to introduce more innovative teaching into their program, things like use of an audience response system. Now, you can develop something like this and put it on a closed system like Blackboard. Alternatively, you can go out there and put it on the internet at a site like Coursera. What this gives is international recognition for your course. And this is becoming increasingly important, this international recognition, as universities start competing for international students. My own experience with MOOCs is that I have constructed a course and have put it on Blackboard. The video lectures themselves, they were produced with a simple laptop computer as the current presentation, and I can tell you that it really does add a new dimension to the course, both for the teacher and for the students. So I think it's really something that you might want to consider introducing in your own teaching.